During the Industrial Revolution, laborers had to work up to 18 hours per day with small amounts of money, and their working places were so poor. They had to work with many people in a small area, and it was very dirty. They didn't get time to have break, and they just had to keep working. And also, employers kept reducing wages, and if the workers talked about it, they were replaced by other employees, because employers didn't need skilled employers anymore. They only needed cheap employees. Machines could replace skilled employees, so workers who were replaced by machines started hating machines.
In the early 1811, the first letters from General Nehrud and the army of red dressers were sent to employers in Nottingham. Workers were upset by reductions of wage and the use of unskilled men, and workers began to break into factories at night to destroy the new machines that the employers were using. In 3 weeks, over 200 stocking frames were destroyed. In March 1811, several attacks were taking place every night, so 400 special constables had to protect the factories. To help catch them, the Prince Regent offered £50 to anyone who could give information about breaking frames. Ludditism spread to Yorkshire, Lancashire, Leicestershire and Derbyshire. In Yorkshire, croppers turned their anger on the new shearing frames because they thought that frames would replace them. In February and March 1812, factories were attacked by Luddites in Huddersfield, Halifax, Wakefield and Leeds. In 1812, the government ordered 2,000 troops into the areas where the Luddites were active. On 20th of March, the warehouse of William Radcliffe, one of the first manufacturers who used the power loom, was attacked in Stockport. On 11th of April 1812, workers who were led by George Miller, who was a young cropper from Huddersfield, attacked Rolfo's mill. 7 days later, William Horsfall, who was the owner of large mill, was murdered by Luddites. 3 men were executed for the murder of Horsfall, and another 14 were hung for the attack on Rolfo's mill. Wheat prices went up in 1812. Workers weren't able to feed their families, so they became desperate. There were food riots in Manchester, Oldham, Ashton, Rochdale, Stockport and Macclesfield. On April, several thousand men attacked Burton's mill at Middleton. First, they tried to break into the mill, but they couldn't, so they burnt down Emmanuel Burton's house. 3 days later, Worley and Duncroft's mill at Manchester was burnt down. 12 men are arrested. In the summer of 1812, 8 men in Lancashire were executed and 13 men transported to Australia for attacks on cotton mills. Another 15 were executed at York. The government kept trying to stop the movement, and finally the movement completely stopped by 1817.